But no, me and Drew definitely do self-evaluate ourselves. Anyways, when he got up and spoke on his live, I really expected him to also, I don't know, state a little bit of like some of these negative opinions that have been brought up about Stephanie are not right. And I don't care. I'm just a little fucking thrown off because I feel like it could help our situation for people to see that it's not just me saying these things about myself. Like, you feel me? I'm like stupid hungry right now, but I knew I wasn't going to have an opportunity to do this live if I didn't just do it right now, because as soon as I get in there, I have to start cleaning and making breakfast, and I have to make a bunch of calls, and I have a couple applications to fill out. So I was just like, pop it up on the live. I've already, like I said, I recorded the video a ton of times, and I just feel like I don't have the fucking, I keep cussing and I don't want to do that. I feel like I've been silenced before I could even speak, and it is defeating. And I know that that benefits other people, because if I really was able to just keep speaking on everything I know, y'all have donated so much money to the individual that you support. Enough money that Deshaun should have his own bed. He shouldn't have a shared bed. He should have his own clothes there. He should have his own devices to game on, that he doesn't have to wait for his brother who gets all of the electronic time. Deshaun is over there feeling as though he's outcasted the minute he gets there. And I speak on these things because I care for him. I care for him. I don't care if somebody tells me that I'm in the wrong. You're not supposed to be speaking on this. Nobody's speaking about what he's actually saying. Nobody is actually letting him use a voice, and I care for him. I told him not to his face. I don't care if it ended up being that I was in trouble with the fucking law because I spoke for his voice that nobody's listening to. I will do that for him because I love the fuck out of that kid. So much so that if he told me to my face, like, I don't care about you, I'll never love you like a mom anymore, and I want you out of my life, bro, like, I would do that. But that's not the connection you guys hear, the connection he has with me. Original audio is not scripted. He's mommy this, mommy that. He talks to me more than any of my kids. He wants to cook with me. He wants to sit there and read with me. We have a connection that will never be taken from us. But I would never stand in the way of a connection for him to build with his biological mother. Ever. I would never do that. And I didn't want to get this emotional, but it's just... It just feels like I was never given a voice. I don't understand why people don't question if it was supposedly that I was keeping someone alienated and out of the picture for years. Why was there not an effort to go to the court until October of last year? Why, if I was forcing these efforts for you to not be in the picture, was there not more of an effort until I went viral? I don't get that. Y'all want to make that shit make sense to me? Go ahead. And also, bro, judge me about my fucking nose, but I'll be noticing that's my nervous tick. Like, when stuff is too emotional, when stuff is overwhelming, like, I can't help it. I'll be, like, itching my nose like crazy. And I don't care if you think that's something other than what it is. Your comments literally are irrelevant. Unless you're being nice and supportive and understanding that I'm speaking from a point of just wanting this to be done, yo. I want it to be done. It's affected so much of our fucking life. Like, when they say, like, a custody case takes over your life, it really do. And I think it's wild because, like, other than me stating the fact that, like, Deshaun has some struggles that are could be associated with FAS, and, like, I stand on that because you all want to be like, well, you insinuated this, and, like, I stand on my own fucking words, okay? If I said something myself, you're not gonna come back at me and make me feel like I did what I know what I said, okay? And I still stand on that because I know the struggles he deals with. I know when I first met the child, he could barely hold a fork and spoon correct. He couldn't draw. He couldn't walk without one of his legs was, I don't remember what it's called, is it called a stent? Where you walk with a little bit of a limp. And his speech was, he did mention that. I've helped him with his speech tremendously because I sat there and we just talked. Me and Deshaun talk all the time. And I get it. I get that it's been 8-9 long months or more of the other party just spreading lies and saying whatever about whatever. I'm telling you guys, it's fine. Support whoever the fuck you want to support. Believe whatever you want to believe. But if that really was what went down, that we completely didn't get to have him in our life anymore, and he's over there, we've lost the kid, bro. Lost the kid because there's no parental knowledge. Like, you weren't in your children's lives until a year and a half ago. You don't know how to be a parent. And I'm not trying to be vindictive. I'm trying to say it could have gone so much different if this was about just being there for the kid, knowing him, knowing his desires, what he wants in his life. It would have gone down different. It would have never been about this fight to I am looking like I've got my life together. And I'm so very curious, if nobody had done all that supportive, helping with housing, helping with this, helping with that, what could you do on your own? I don't get it. Because me and Drew are doing this shit on our own. And yes, we're still homeless, but nobody's setting us up with anything. We have resources being sent to us and we appreciate the help, but we're still doing all of that ourselves. Like I said, I'm not engaging with the comments because y'all are just going off on Desiree, support Desiree, support Desiree. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't care. What I think is nutty is that, like I said, this is supposed to be about Deshaun. Deshaun would have loved for it just to be that her and I started a friendship, a relationship that was surrounded around what is best to support Deshaun, how we can both be there. And when I first found out that Drew had two sons, I told him, I actually remember this conversation because I said, well, how involved are the baby mamas? And he said, we don't even talk. We don't even have communication between either of them. And I was like, okay, well, there's still potential that one day that's going to be a possibility. So before I even started dating him, it was something I considered, that I would potentially have to have a relationship with these women. And I saw it going down way the heck different. I would never belittle someone else's children. I would never belittle someone else for their looks. And the stuff that they've decided to come after me for, I would not be like that. I'm stating facts about things that, like, if I was spending my money on I don't know. You can say that you spend money on weed, okay. So I guess like I said, see, I caught myself there. Like, I'm about to say something that I'm just in the wrong, as in the wrong. why would I say it? So I'm going to catch myself. But a lot of people will just say the vindictive thing because, oh, it's going to make me look better momentarily. But does it? Because if you can dig it up and see your own faults, you got to be willing to state your own fucking faults too. And I'm fully aware of my faults. I got mental illnesses. I've made decisions that I could have probably prevented us from getting in this motel, and that's the same for Drew as well. We've both talked about this. We've talked about our faults, and we've stated them to you guys. And as far as like, you guys still do not see my social media thing as a job when I probably make more than most of you, I could give a frick that you want to keep denying that that's a real thing. When I first got into social media, I was in that W-2. I was working 16 hours a day every day because I wanted to make ends meet. And as I was watching social media all the time. And I was like, bro, these people make a dancing video and then they hop back on their couch and that's the end of their day. And I'm like, that seems easy. That seems nice. Seems like they're a lot happier in their life. Let's give it a try. And I just kept trying. I kept posting and I was stuck in that 200 view jail forever. And I just kept posting because I fully believe that this is an opportunity for my family. That there's, and I still do. I still, despite every bit of people just knocking us down and trying to make this not work for us, I still fully have faith that every move that I make every fucking day is for my children and trying to make their life better. And I know that about myself. And I don't care if you don't see that about me. Just heard my baby. I was going to say something, but I heard my baby make a sound. I thought she was waking up. Honestly, kind of threw me off. Oh man, that's driving me nuts. I can't bring that thought back. She gone. And let's say that the beep boop beats. The kids are at school. What you think? It's Thursday. Momo's in the back of the car. Bubba's sleeping in there with Babe, with Drew. So, someone sent me a book, and I appreciate it, but I also kind of laugh because the book is titled "So You've Been Publicly Shamed." Drew and I both just looked at each other like, like, yes and no, because like, to deny the fact that like what people have said about me and all this stuff that is continued to be said about me has no effect, that's fucking silly. It definitely does. But also deep down I know like none of that shit has anything to do with me. It's not, the rest is still unwritten. You know what I'm saying? Like the rest of my life and what's before and ahead of us, not before us. I mean, I guess you could look before, but anyways, ahead of us. It's not, it doesn't matter based off what people have to say. Especially people being like, well, you married a blah, 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 blah. That's wonderful that your parents taught you how to know who you're dating and like what you're getting yourself into before the age of 18. And you didn't have to marry some crazy effer to find that stuff out. That's awesome that you actually lack that much knowledge, because that means you've never had to go through it. And I love that for you. I actually genuinely love that you're so naive to what I've been through because you've never had to do it. And that's okay. Because people who get it, who get like marrying someone who says they're one thing and then all of a sudden you get to find out all of these crazy things about them. I didn't know who I married is a fucking thing. You ever watch that stuff? Now, I knew of one charge. I knew of one thing that he had mentioned to me. And actually, I never really looked up his record myself when I was I definitely should have, but I'm telling you, the lack of parenting that I had, and not even lack of parenting, the messed up part of parenting that I had didn't teach me anything. Oh, and I see some video the other day where someone was saying something about like, I claimed that I was rebuilding my relationship with my mom, and that's not happening. But I think that the last thing I spoke on that was me stating that it's not happening, because I tried to open my relationship back up with my mom, assuming that she's worked on a lot of things that were very triggering as a child, and no, she has not. And I don't need that. I love my mama. I do. I'll always care for her and be respectful of what she did. She did the best she could. But I don't need that in my life quite yet. I'm just not there yet. I knew that when I did want to talk to my mom again, it was going to be when I was mentally ready, and I really forced it because of other people's opinions, and I shouldn't have done that. It's crazy how much, like, I don't know, content creators just become people's little pawns. Like, you want us to run our content the way you want us to. You want us to have our life the way that you think it should look. The way I see content creators is turn on the TV. You get a say about what the hell they put in the episode on TV? No. Turn on your TV and watch it. Just because we're average people doesn't make the situation any different. You would not be running your mouths at the higher up, and would you say this stuff? I'm trying to think of someone that people actually respect. Miley Cyrus, okay? And be like, well, she's not doing nothing wrong with her life. But if, God forbid, she did. You know, Miley Cyrus is probably a wrong example because she's actually amazing. I like her. But Lord knows if we all had a chance to talk to Trump, we'd say some stuff. I was just trying to give an example, but it's really not the best example. I really want a fucking blender back. Like, bad. I don't know if y'all seen that video. I feel like this is the first time I'm just having a chance to, like, catch up and say a lot of the things that I haven't had a chance to say on video, because most of the time when I'm trying to do lives and when I'm trying to just, like, make a video, I'm also chasing children around. I'd never seen much of a need for childproofing until we were in this motel, and my golly, it would be nice, because I'm constantly just trying to make sure that the babies aren't getting into something, you know? So I'm like, wash a dish, turn around, wash a dish, turn around. Look at a burp. So I heard some good news. And I'd be like scared to share any of this with you, because I also see like a lot of people who try to share their housing journey with people. They just regret it because there's so many ups and downs with trying to find housing. And like a couple months ago, I was really convinced that we were going to get this place. I was like, yes. The process of the application took me 2.5 hours. And still nothing. And I kind of hate getting hopeful about it, because I'm like, oh, this sounds like a good opportunity. This could be it. And then, you know what I'm saying? But we did get some resources sent to us from a supporter who's actually a friend of Drew's before we got together. And I'm trying to reach out to those resources. So prayers. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to be too hopeful. I keep just like taking a minute and like processing what I want to say next, because I've been known to just blurt out whatever's on my mind. And it's not always something that I want to share. Yeah, so last night, I just needed a minute. unwind from it's so very loud sometimes in there. So I went and just parked in the dollar store parking lot, but I parked like back in front of this abandoned building, and I started thinking to myself, like, do I give myself my own anxiety about the surroundings outside? Because I binge watch true crime, okay? And I can't go nowhere without being like, checking out my back, making sure there ain't no one behind me, someone staring at me too long, like, I'm freaked out. And, like, you could call that paranoia, but I also think a fair amount of, like, paranoia and awareness is probably a good thing, because true crime exists because of actual things happening. So, there's that. Also prolonging this live a little bit more than I was anticipating, because, for one, my baby's still sleeping. And two, it's a mental game every time I have to go back into that motel room. Every time. And I don't express it a lot, but it just is. It's like walking back into your prison cell. And I know that's terrible, because we're housed, and we're not housed. We have a roof over our head. We have food. We have our needs met. So to me, it sounds selfish to not be grateful for even just a motel room. Like, comfortability and convenience and stuff, it's not a necessity. Those are different. There's a difference. But I do think that America has, like, I don't know, set everybody up to believe that the comforts are necessities, if that makes sense. And, like, yes, to a fair, people are just going to spin that, and I don't care. Y'all spin what you want to say about me. I don't care. I do believe the kids deserve way more space than this. They deserve, I mean, ideally, each of them would have their own room, but that's a big house, yo. That's probably a little bit more than we can afford right now. I don't even know of any 6-7 bedrooms or houses around here. But to be fair, I don't be looking for that, so. But anyways, yeah. I think about it all. I think about the people act like me and Drew are just living it up in this motel. And it's like, y'all, I think about the fact that I have to hush my children so many times throughout the day because my man is sleeping, and we're all in one room. And, like, that's so unfair to both parties in the situation, because Drew should be able to get adequate sleep for his body, but at the same time, like, our children should be able to be loud, obnoxious children like children should be. So just having them quiet, and, like, it's not just Drew, because then the babies nap and the older kids got to be quiet. Then, like, this shit should not have lasted as long as it's lasted. No fucking 242 days. Hell no. Man, when we first went into the room right in front of me, I looked Drew in the face and I said, this is not going to last more than 3 months. No. And it's crazy, but because that's what happens with comfortability and necessities, is you start to realize, okay, I didn't think I could do this, and here I am doing it for this long. I didn't think I could do this, and again, here I am. It just keeps happening. You keep adapting and being more resilient to what you thought you would never be able to do. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's called conformability. Again, I'm aware of these things. I'm aware of way more than y'all give me credit for. I'm tying a shoelace to the steering wheel because it's just helping my hands from being too like that. Maybe I need to start crocheting or something when I'm talking, because I hate being a hand talker. That shit drives me nuts. I feel like anybody who claims that I'm on other stuff has really never experienced people who are on stuff. That's another thing about this motel. Like, man, y'all are stupid if you don't know this yourselves, because you're gonna be like, oh my god, she just... But in this area, there's a lot of that activity, okay? And we kind of see that daily here. I've seen people nodding out in their cars. I've seen people, this one guy stayed here a few weeks ago, and he kept, like, just coming outside and, like, I don't even know, just like he was ready to fight. About what? And I'm like, bro, just go back in your freaking room. It's just drama. There's been a lot that we don't talk about because we just know how honestly weak a lot of you are to things that are just reality to other people. That's what it comes down to. It's like, I could never. And yeah, we know that. We know that. That's why you ain't doing it. But also, like, before I was that person, I was the person that's in my comments talking about how, oh, this disgusting area, oh, this is so scary, and this and this. And then I got to learn, and I adapted and got to know that, like, other than tripping out, staring at the air, what's that guy doing? It's his choice that he decided that that's what he wants to stick in his body, but he's not affecting me, and I'm not scared of him like these precious little princess ladies want to act. Oh my God, the filth of the streets. Oh my God, the filth of the people. That's so crazy that you talk about people like that. Man, if I see a homeless man going through the trash can, I'm going to bring some of my food out to him and stop him from going through the trash can. Instead of being like, like, what is that? That mentality of acting like people, because they're on something, are less of a person. They're still a person. That's crazy. In fact, we were helping this one homeless guy out when we first got into this motel. He come almost every day, and we get whatever leftovers we didn't eat or whatever else we had on hand to get him. And especially because I was in the hot summer, we give him anything we had on hand. And then his buddy came a couple weeks ago and told us that he overdosed. He passed away. So yeah, man, like, we don't look at people like that, and that's, you don't have to, oh, they're her buddies. Man, I am not like that. I'm a good person to people. I don't, just because they're on something, I'm not going to write them off as a person, and that doesn't mean I'm doing whatever they're doing, if that makes sense. Yeah, actually, I really wanted to thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm sorry if I'm not saying thank you enough. I'm really just not trying to engage with these comments because a lot of them are booty. Oh. You know, and the thing is, like, let's bounce back my ADHD brain. That even if, like, if we could just whoosah the freaking drama and just bring it into what actually matters, to be there and write a perfect parenting plan that benefits Deshaun. And if that meant shared, or not shared holiday, is that what that's called? Shared holidays, when you all get together? Anyways, if there was opportunities like that, I'm not going to be nasty. I'm not like that. I will, everything that I have to say about you, tucked in a motherfucking bottle, and put on my freaking nice face, and do whatever the fuck I have to for the child's sake. So, for the children in general, because seem to forget that just because this is about a custody case with just Deshaun, that he don't have, like, siblings involved in the situation. Like, they don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, the disregard for the connection he has with his siblings is fucking wild to me. They love the crap out of each other. They look for each other at school. They are glued to each other, constantly playing games, and they're freaking hilarious too. They're getting into this stage where the games that they have to play are hilarious. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, shared holiday type of situation. We want all of the children involved in that to be as happy and have that homey feeling. So why am I not going to make sure that I have the best demeanor towards everybody involved? You feel me? I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying to do what's best for Deshaun. I am trying. I kind of sometimes hate having a fast metabolism because it's just like, I be stinking hungry almost all the time. And that's with breastfeeding too. Do people really not feel when their pants are that far down? Or do they just not care? The amount of ass cracks I've seen this morning. Like, sorry. I just don't get that shit. It's cold. You're not even feeling that? Oh, this guy got a rack in the back of the car too. What the hell? What you need that for? I wonder if Bubba's about to wake up. He probably won't wake up till around 11. That's kind of normal for him, especially when he goes to bed a little bit later. I definitely hear my baby stirring though. Oh, she's just chilling. This sweatshirt has gotten so beat up since I first got it. Anyways, y'all, I'm sort of just running out of things to say. Honestly, like I said, I was just thrown off when I seen that Drew's live. This is hard for him, and that's what I know about being the person that I am for him. Is that speaking on any emotion is difficult, but it is easier for him to speak on emotion if it involves just his emotion. He has a very hard time connecting to other people's emotion, and he'll sit there and look at me like he's trying, but when I am emotional or when I am speaking my emotions, it just shuts him down. So it's like, what's the point? And I don't mean that to be, I don't mean like, what's the point? I just mean, why I told him yesterday, like, you tell me to talk to you about what I'm going through and what I feel, but like, it just feels like it sort of shuts you down emotionally, and that's the last thing I'm trying to do because I care about you. So why would I want to do that? You feel me? Starting to get a little bit warm in here. So that's actually kind of surprising because it's cold outside. Nobody asks you to be. If you feel like you are, get off. Like, social media wouldn't be a thing without these people who just make their literally useless comments. But at the same time, I just get baffled every time I see some of these comments because I'm like, what? Say it to my face. You wouldn't. There's a study that actually shows that, like, if you were to be given the opportunity to say whatever you want behind someone's back through a screen, what would you say? Now read that comment out loud to their face, and people are like, I can't do it. Exactly. I'm trying to work myself up through this mental, like, get ready process because I gotta go back into that motel room and make breakfast. And Drew likes the same breakfast all the time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, like, I like the routine because it doesn't make me have to, like, think through what to make him. Routine is, like, super comfortable for him. Having the same thing for breakfast, the same time he showers, like, these things are super relaxing to him. But to me, like, routine feels like stagnant. Like, you're not going anywhere because you're not putting anything into that routine besides the same thing over and over. I'm just saying. I know that could be like completely wrong thinking, but that's where I get sometimes, is like, if I'm doing the same thing every day, am I progressing? You know? Be losing a lot of hair. Probably that postpartum fallout. Hit the road, Jack. I can't even, like, read all these things so fast. Look, nothing against anyone who goes to therapy, and maybe that is a process that I will choose for myself a little further down the road, but it's not what I want to do with myself right now, okay? And I don't care if you don't see it. I've actually healed quite a bit since I started trying to heal myself and actually work on the things I need to work on. Postpartum hit me way rougher than I would like to admit. Like, yeah, postpartum was rough, but coming back out of it and feeling like I'm starting to get a little bit of my own brain chemicals back, and the hormones are starting to just dwindle a little bit. I've really, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about that, is that it's cool if that's what the path you want to go down, but you don't have to force your path on everybody else. It doesn't have to be my decision. If I choose to speak with a preacher about what I feel, and that's as far as I want to go, that's my option. Those rugs outside do absolutely nothing, sir. They're so dirty, they ain't wiping nothing off your feet. Baby, what you wishing for? Baby, you should wish it more. Don't know how to wish anymore. So, music always be in my head, sorry. I had to get that out. What boxes are you talking about? Open the boxes. Don't know how to wish anymore. Or do I? I'm really just enjoying the quiet at this point. I never thought that would be something I said I enjoy, because quiet used to make me a little bit anxious when I was like in my teen years. But now, especially in this motel situation, any bit of moment that I can get where it's like, not screaming. Bubby, you ready? You ready to go inside, puppies? Alright, y'all. Thanks for chatting. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye now.